everybody out there? This is Popular Stranger, and we are back at you again today with another Madden 21 Ultimate Team video. We're here for another edition of MUT Recap. This is our weekly series here on YouTube where we cover everything that's going on in the world of Madden 21 and Madden 21 Ultimate Team. Let's go ahead and start this episode by going over our weekend league and talking about gameplay. So, another 16-win weekend league. Pretty disappointed. I still think I played better than last week. If you guys follow the series, we won 16 last week, 16 again this week. But I felt improved a little bit. So let's go over it. We started out 10-2, very good start. And out of those two losses, one of them actually was a disconnect loss. It was due to my internet dropping, which is unfortunately something I keep having a problem with. Internet just randomly drops for like less than a minute, and of course it kicks me out of games. So we got one loss because of that, and that was up until Friday night, 10-2. Feeling good. Turn on the game Saturday night, jump into a game. First game, we get disconnected. This one was not due to my internet, so I know disconnections is a big hot topic within the Madden community. And for the most part, I have not experienced them. Every time it happens to me is because my internet crashes, and it's technically my fault, and I just got to live with it. This was one of those games where, and I'll be honest, I've gotten a win this way before as well. I'm in the loading screen going into a game. It takes a little while. You can kind of tell that's going to happen, or what's going to happen when the game takes forever to load. Get to the top 3 screen, boom, disconnected. Now again, I've received wins off of that before. This time, I got the loss, so there's really nothing I can do. I blame those ones on EA servers. Could it have been a disconnect glitch? Maybe, but again, because I've had that happen to me and gotten wins before, I think sometimes a connection is just lost while the game's loading up, and unfortunately, either both parties get a loss or one gets lucky and gets the win. So we went 10-3 there, and then I just was in a bad mood because of that, and Saturday night was a rough night. We lost a couple more games. Ended up clutching out the last 2 of the night, fought hard against 2 pretty good opponents. I think one of them was an overtime win. The other I had a money drive at the last drive of the game. We finished Saturday night 14-5. So I'm feeling okay. I'm like, all right, we got 6 games left. Got to win 4 of them to get 18. Certainly doable. I'm going to play Sunday morning because, Sunday night Eagles are playing. Normally I finish my weekend league Sunday night. We load into Sunday morning. I'll be honest. Sunday mornings is usually the time for the bots. Not the greatest opponents in past years. This Sunday was not the case. Or maybe I'm just a bot. Probably that's the likely answer. Sunday did not go well for me at all. So the very first game, I'll show you guys the leaderboard in a moment here. Very first game Sunday, I run into a guy by the name of Gun Bunch. Really good player. He won 24 games. He went 24-1 last week. I think he won 22 games this week. Obviously finished top 100. Extremely good player. I had no chance. We didn't even make it to halftime. So we take the L. I'm like, all right, now we really got to clutch out. We got to win 4 of our last 5. And that's where the clutching did not happen. Unfortunately, we caught some bad breaks. At the end of the day, I lost 3 more games in a row. And all 3 of those games were decided by 3 points or less. So I left opportunities on the table, man. One of the losses was from, I was down 2, I was down 8, got the touchdown, needed a 2-point conversion to tie it up, couldn't do it, couldn't clutch it out, lost that game. There was another game where I probably could have and should have won. I don't want to blame anybody or anything, but I was down, I want to say 6, and all I remember is I was down 1 touchdown or 2 field goals, something like that. Anyway, Reggie Wayne dropped a wide open pass in the end zone. I probably could have did a possession catch to ensure it, but I thought it was so open that I didn't need to. He drops it. I have to settle for a field goal, and then I couldn't get a stop to get the ball back to win the game. I think maybe I was down 5, and then a field goal, basically another field goal would have won it for me, and that's why I didn't go for it on 4th down. So that was just tough. We ended up winning a couple more games, and then we got our 16 wins, but could not get to 18 at this point. So we were 16 wins left with 1 game to play. I'll be honest. I keep saying I'll be honest. I just wasn't into that last game as much as I should have been, and we ended up losing it. I ended up getting a stop with 2 minutes left in a tie game. It got to a 4th and 10 on my part, and I was at like the 30-yard line. I said, F it. I got my monthly requirements. I got 16 wins. 17 wins isn't going to do anything for me other than maybe make my record look a little bit better. Let's just go for it. We didn't get it. We not converted the fourth down. My opponent, I think, got a field goal, or I think he scored a touchdown because I ran commit, and then I never, I lost the game. I'm making excuses. Who cares? But that 17th win, I didn't really need it, so I don't think my focus is all the way there. So 16 wins. The month is over. Monthly rewards should be coming out this Thursday. We won 66 out of 100 games. So if I do my math correctly, I think that's 66 and 34. So we got to shoot for better. I might be out of town one weekend in October, so I'm not going to be able to play every game. But I want to, obviously the next full month that I get to play, we want to win more than 66 games. That's going to be the goal. But we get legend rewards there, so I'm cool with that. We'll quickly take a look at the top 100. So how many people went 25-0 this week? Looks like we got 4 people went 25-0. A lot of really good names that, had a loss or two. I see a lot of pro players on this list. I'm guessing, to be honest, that a lot of these losses, like Henry is a 25-0 player. I'm guessing either he has maybe one legit loss or a couple disconnects. So we'll go all the way to the bottom here. Here's Gun Bunch. Shout out to him once again. GG's to him. He's a goon. If you see him and you run into him, just get ready for a tough game. But I did take a look at the top 100, and 20 get you in with a 94th strength of schedule. So I think 26 people. No, I lied. So this number's changing a little bit because I checked it a few minutes ago. It's before 10:30 right now, so some people might be finishing up games. But it looks like 20 wins is going to get you in for about a quarter of the top 100 there. I think it was very similar last week. Once we see the year go on, this number might dwindle down to 19, or more people with 20 wins will probably start getting in. What did we struggle with this week? A couple things. I mean, one of the losses was due to the Disengage defense that you may have heard about. I don't really understand it right now. I know it's out of the 4-6 playbook. I think it's the 4-6 speed package. All I know is that you base a line and the middle line back. I don't know. Something happens where your offensive linemen get disengaged or stop trying to block, and then the blitz just comes through, and that mixed with man coverage makes it really tough. I faced it twice. I believe that Gun Bunch that I was talking about was running it, and I could not do anything against it. Another guy I played ran it, and I picked up. I was able to pick up it, block it. I was able to pick it up. You ID the middle linebacker, and then I think I was not crashing, shifting to the left, and that seemed to hold it up for a little while. The second time, it was just not working. So that was one loss. That's one thing that I think as the weeks go on, unless it's resolved, you're going to start to see more and more and more people run it. It's going to be frustrating. Hopefully there's a foolproof way to stop it. One of my other losses is somebody running the dime 146 blitz that was pretty popular last year. I haven't, blitzing hasn't been that great this year, and I haven't really faced many people in dime 146. And normally if they do run it, I'll be able to run against them and get them out of that defense because the run works so well, but I just could not run that game. And then when it was obvious passing situations, he was just blitzing my life away. I didn't start being able to pick up the blitz until the fourth quarter, and at that point it was a little too late. And a couple of my other losses just literally just couldn't get stops on me. I'm not going to blame the game for that. We got to get better. What are my problems with the game? Well, of course, dropped interceptions will always be my biggest pet peeve in the game. I saw a lot of chatter on Twitter last night about this. Some pros think that there was a secret gameplay patch and that throwing animations have been changed and they take longer now. I haven't noticed such. I don't know if you guys have. Let me know down below in the comment section. A lot of people say that the running game is overpowered again. I just don't feel that way. I don't know. Sometimes I see pros, complain about certain things, and maybe just because I'm not in their league and I don't understand every detail of the game, or maybe don't pay attention to every detail of the game like they do because it's their profession. I just don't understand or miss out on these things. I don't know, but QB throwing motions, listen, Vic threw the ball the same way all weekend for me, and that's all that I noticed. But dropped interceptions are just going to drive me crazy for the rest of my Madden life. Let me know what you struggled with. Gameplay wise, let me know if there's any glitches, bugs, things that you've noticed, anything weird. There was a gameplay patch this week. I don't think the game really played much different at all, to be honest, since that patch. I haven't noticed anything at all, that's for sure. But that is our Weekend League recap. Let's talk about the content. So, of course, on Monday, no content. That's expected. That's how it was today as well. It's probably how it's going to be every week. Tuesday, we got Team of the Week, week number 3, and compared to week 2, I think it was an okay drop, not some bad cards here. So the Player of the Week was Shaquille Barrett, the offensive and defensive flashback heroes, Mike Allstott, Cortland Finnegan. I picked up the Allstott. He's my fullback on the squad. I'll be honest, I just got him for overall purposes. I don't really give him the ball. He got a couple touches on a fullback dive on like the 1 yard line during Weekend League. A couple times he got in there, a couple times he did not. And then the limited card was J.J. Watt, so those were the 4 cards. They did give us a little bit of hope this week, so I've been talking about it with the Team of the Week, right? They're only giving these upgrades to guys who already have an existing power-up. They did switch it up on us. So this week, Xavier Rhodes, I should say last week, Xavier Rhodes got a card. And then there was one other guy, but I can't find him here. I think he's probably on this set. Give him his props to Dietrich Wise Jr. So good news there. They're not limiting this just to people with power-ups. And that's what I want to see, because that's going to help some, that might not be the greatest cards that go into these sets, but it'll help out somebody's team here and there. And that's what I like to see. Talked about it last week, how I didn't think they would do that, and then they went around and did it. So that's good news that they adjusted, they adapted to the Team of the Week promo. I think it's been good so far. I'm happy with the changes that they made overall to it, and we're just good to go there. So that was Tuesday. Of course, Wednesday is Wildcard Wednesday, and we got our first set of flashbacks for the year. 89 overall, 3,800 training. The flashbacks this week certainly favored the LA Rams. They got Robert Woods, Ndamukong Suh, Marcus Peters. There was also a Greg Olsen flashback and Marcus Mariota. Marcus Peters' card looked pretty good. Press was a little low if you're running man coverage, though. He's very balanced. Good at man coverage, good speed. The Mariota card, I have him on the no money spent squad, and he's pretty good. He feels a tad bit slower than Lamar Jackson, but the passing accuracy is there. He makes the good throws. So I'm going to stick with that card for my budget no money spent squad for a few days or so, a few weeks, I should say. Limiteds were on Thursday, and limiteds we got Micah Hyde and Amari Cooper. Both of those cards really good. I got the Micah Hyde card on my team. We chemmed him all the way up to 99 zone. And then the Amari Cooper, I mean, I know he's a Cowboy, right? But he meets all of the route running thresholds. He's got speed. I faced him once in Weekend League. I think he got 1 touchdown on me, but luckily I was able to adjust and stop him. But that card looks really good. Both of those were over $1 million for a while. They dropped down on Friday because we got new content. And of course, on Friday, we got the 50. Part 2, week number 2, whatever you want to call it. Ryan Shazier, Taylor Mays, Vincent Jackson, some really good cards. I have Taylor Mays on the squad. He's been lights out, phenomenal for me. Happy I picked that card up. The Shazier looks really good. The only problem with Shazier, for me at least, is that I don't really use linebackers on my field. It's more safeties and defensive backs. And I already have Sam Mills, so it's like I got a free Sam Mills with over 90 zone and over 90 speed, or do I pay a bunch of coins for Shazier? I'm going to use the Mills. I know Mills is shorter, Shazier is taller, but just the coin savings there, I'm sticking with Mills. But good to see Shazier in the game, of course. And then also Friday, we got part 2 of the Rival Solos. A little disappointing because of the rewards. So if you go to the reward system here, I'm not so mad at the 87 overall Geno Atkins. Pretty solid card, and it's a free card, right? But if you look at the milestone rewards, the tier 2, only getting an 80 overall Nat card. They could at least made it 80 to 82, or just 82. Give us something. And then if you really want to go above and beyond, even at 225 stars, they're still only giving you another 80 Nat card. Those rewards are a little disrespectful. At least give us an 82 overall Nat. Like, a little bit better than an 80 would have been nice. The 87 Geno Atkins isn't bad. I've already completed the solos for him on the no money spent squad. Don't think we're going to find any roster room for him on this main team, but I'll probably, and as you can see, we'll get it done because, it could be a card I put into an exchange set later on, and get some value out of that. But pretty good content Friday, good members of the 50. We got more solos, got a free card for all of you that are grinding and trying to build up that squad without spending money. And then, of course, that leads us into Saturday's Legends. Saturday's Legends weren't the sexiest, but they were necessary. We got Kevin Mawai, center, New York Jets. I keep saying his name correctly, so you guys are awesome for making fun of me when I mess up names. But give me my props when I get them right. Kevin Mawai, best center in the game. And then we got Mean Joe Green, defensive tackle. He's got speed. You can spy him. He's going to be, good for Lamar Jackson, Michael Vick, those faster quarterbacks. He can keep up with them a little bit, right? So 2 necessary cards. Very hard to top a weekend coming off of a previous week where we got Vick and Deion Sanders. But all in all, I think Saturday Legends weren't bad. And that's pretty much it. Straightforward for the content. The only unexpected thing that I think we saw there was the Rivals 2 solos, but I'm happy they're there. So what do we expect this week? Pretty much the same stuff. Tomorrow, Team of the Week. Apparently, I missed it this morning, but Kralo said a familiar, I don't want to say a familiar, a old name, a guy that's been away from MUT for a while, is coming back. So that got my wheels turning. I think the number one thought that I have here is Charles Woodson. I think that they have the rights to Charles Woodson, and I think he's going to be in the game this year. I would expect him to get a 50 card, but that's just who I thought of immediately once I heard Kralo said that. So we'll see. Wildcard Wednesday will be back on Wednesday, of course. I'm hoping for Campus Heroes, but to be honest, I fully expect it to start the cycle over, and we're going to get heavyweights. And I think those heavyweights will be a 90 overall. Of course, Thursday, we will get our limited cards. Friday, we're going to get the 50. 3 more cards for the 50. Could we see Most Feared this weekend? Typically, early October, we get MUT Heroes. And then shortly after that, we get Most Feared. My unfortunate prediction here is that we don't get anything Friday other than the 50. And then next week sometime, possibly Friday next week, is when we get Most Feared. I don't think we see MUT Heroes right now. I think Most Feared is probably the next biggest promo that we get. I hope I'm wrong. I absolutely hope I'm wrong. Team of the Week predictions. On offense, I got Tom Brady, Joe Mixon, Kareem Hunt, George Kittle, OBJ. I think kind of the locks to get cards got to be OBJ, right? And probably Joe Mixon. Brady might get a +1 unless they had slated for another promo. Defense, Roquan Smith, Bradley Chubb, Patrick Peterson, maybe. I kind of picked him by default because he got an interception and he's got a power up, and EA likes to do stuff like that. Pierre Desire got 2 interceptions, including a pick 6. We saw last week again, Xavier Rhodes and some other people got those cards, even though they're not in the power-ups. So do we see an expansion on that? Who knows? Leave your Team of the Week picks or predictions down below in the comment section. Not going to spend a ton of time, but here's the squad, 91 overall. We picked up Mike Allstott this week. I think that's the only difference on offense. No, I got rid of Tony Gonzalez and went back to Jermichael Finley. Jermichael Finley's just the best tight end in the game. That 90 route running, mid route running, he just gets better separation. His crossing routes run a little bit deeper to beat man coverage. So that's what we did on offense. On defense, I mentioned we picked up Taylor Mays over here. Otherwise, I don't think we made any changes. Pretty close to getting finally to level 60, so I can use my power-up pass on Jamal Adams and get him right. But there's the squad. I lied. I picked up Mean Joe Green as well. He was a little underwhelming. Might get rid of him. Trying some different abilities on him, so we'll see how those play out. But that's the squad. Lots of stuff to sell, too. I opened up a lot of get-a-player packs this weekend and had some solid pulls. Pulled Vincent Jackson twice, so we still got to sell those cards. We'll be back well over 4 million before you know it. And that's all I got. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of MUT Recap. My name is Popular Stranger. I'm out. Peace.